publicly praise and privately chastise. Recently, my son, Paul Heidema, he does a lot of work with leadership, and he took a phrase that I had shared with him many years ago, and he talked about how you do that as a leader. And I want to talk how you do that as a manager of a team, which I think is a little different. I think this is what I learned from a very good manager of me, Ward, who is my manager when I was a young manager. And he talked about this concept of publicly praising and privately chastising when you're working with your team. And what he said was this, is that when you praise someone, not only praise them individually, but praise them publicly. And how he did that was really unique. What he would do is he would certainly sit down with someone, a team member that was doing well in some aspect of their business, maybe activity or results, whatever, or customer relationships, whatever. And he would compliment them on their effort, and he would be very specific. You know, I think when you're paying a compliment to someone, general comments don't lead to change in behaviors, don't reinforce behaviors. If you say something like, you're a good advisor, well, what does that mean? But if you can be more specific and say, you manage your customer base really well, people tend not to cancel their purchases from you. They tend to give you very good referrals. So you're doing a great job in developing your customer into a client. And then what he would do, he would go in the team and he'd talk to different people and he would say, let's say for an example, I'm talking about my son, Paul, who's a really warm individual and really good at keeping communication with existing clients and future clients. And he touches them on a regular basis. And so he would go to, say, a team member and say, have you heard about Paul? Paul's been doing a great job in managing his client base and keeping contact. He has a behavior where he contacts them every 3 to 6 months and makes sure that he's aware of any changes that's going on, make sure that the customer is happy with the decisions they've made, and just reinforces that relationship. And would you do me a favor? This is what Ward would say. He would say, would you do me a favor? Next time you see Paul, would you compliment him on what he's done? And maybe he'll share how he's done it, and maybe that'll have some value to you. So he'd do that to at least 2 other people. So not only would Paul hear from me as his manager, he would hear from 2 of his colleagues. And what do you think the result of that would be? Well, of course, Paul would do more of that behavior because we've reinforced it. Privately chastise. Sometimes you have to have difficult conversations. And the policy that I did and what I learned when you privately chastise, and I'm not having trouble with the word, Paul is having some trouble with that word, but privately, I would always attack the behavior, but never attack the person. And so, you know, I would look at what they're actually doing, and that's what I would talk about if they're doing something incorrectly or they're not doing something they should be doing. That's what I would attack, the behavior, not the person. And I would make sure that's very private. I wouldn't raise my voice. I wouldn't change my behaviors. I would sit down and effectively say to the individual, let's look at what you're doing and the results of that, and let's have a discussion around that. And of course, when you privately chastise, you always want to seek permission before you do it. You just don't call them in your office and jump on them. You say to them, listen, I'd like to talk to you about something, and I wonder if we may do that this afternoon at 3 o'clock, and it's about your development. And so they could come into the meeting not going, oh my God, my boss is going to jump all over me, because I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't jump over anybody. I don't think I've ever done that in my career. But I would sit down with them and say, listen, we have to have a heart-to-heart about this because it has an effect on your ability to be successful. And so again, that's something that managers should do regardless of what profession you're in, is publicly praise. Look for reasons to catch them doing something well and make a big deal about it. Let me say that again. Catch them doing something, no matter how minor. If it's going in the right direction, make a big deal about it. and share it with others and get them in the circle. And what's really interesting, if you can get others to pass on positive messages to their colleagues, then they're going to get positive message from their colleagues. And you create a culture. And that's what we have to do as managers and leaders, is create a culture where success can happen. And publicly praising and privately chastising come in partnership with that. I trust that makes sense to you. Hi there, my name is James Heidema. Do you need a coach? Well, if you're a professional salesperson, if you are a professional sales manager, if you are a leader or director of a sales team, then I'm the guy. I've got a depth of experience. Check me out. Visit my website at jamesheidemaconsulting.com or email me directly at jimheidema@me.com. I look forward to hearing from you because I'm helping many people just like you.